Hello, and welcome back to the wonderful world of Fallout 4. We are at the Malice farm, also known as the Abernathy farm, where we have the dollhouse, and we're going to keep on working on it here. A couple videos went by. I did a lot of experimenting. I'm still trying new software, so if this sounds like crap or whatever, let me know. It's another new program. I don't know if the watermark is going to be left on this video or not, because this is, a trial run basically. See how it works. If I like it, maybe I'll get it later on. If not, well, it is what it is. But anyway, so far seems to be all right. And I'm just gonna do a little bit on this farm. Let's put some turrets up because we need defense, especially when the house is open back here. And with this house, I'm kind of ended the dollhouse setup up here. I have like roofs and everything, and I have a seating place, which would be almost like an open restaurant or whatever. What I'm going to do, one of the experiments that I want to do in the Abernathy farm, is I want to show you the build limit, how high we can build it. The Abernathy / Malice farm here has one of the highest vertical building limits, and we're going to get there. We're going to exceed it, or we're going to try to at least get to the top. And I know that there's a lot of this video that's just kind of, I guess you can say, just random video, nothing too new or anything. And it's just going to be some guy just building up a little place, just chatting it up, just talking about how things are in life, I guess. One of the things that I like to do when I go onto YouTube is there's a couple of content creators that I'll actually follow, just like anyone else does. And some of them you kind of appreciate more than you thought you did, and then all of a sudden maybe they have like a bad thumbnail, or they say something that's inappropriate one too many times. They get strikes, they get kicked out, whatever. Some of them get banned. A lot of the time, it's for good reasons. Sometimes there's people that, in my opinion, got banned for no reason, or for something very stupid, which could be that maybe it was a thumbnail and they just didn't learn and they just kept on doing it. Other times it's, explicit stuff or something. I don't really know. But I go onto YouTube these days and I'm looking around, and there's very few people who I can just kind of use as like a background or like a radio backdrop, just kind of chat and just listen to. I got a couple, and some of them make me crack up. Some of them just kind of like real chill, depending on how your day is going. It may be nice to just listen to someone's day. Sometimes they're going through some stuff that you kind of can relate to. One person that a lot of people know would be Jacksepticeye. I didn't ask if I can use his name, but he's one of the more popular YouTubers as of right now, though he is slowly disappearing. My guess is that he's probably going to be ending his career fairly soon. I know he's going to probably continue to do the Thankmases, but I also got a feeling that he's probably going to get to a place where it's like, yeah, I'm here, I'm going to do one video every 6 months just to let everyone know that I'm here. And we're going to go on there. And there's a lot of people that I kind of sort of grew up with watching or whatever. And I'm noticing that they're slowly disappearing. And sometimes I'm like, you know what, dang. Like, I bet you that there's people out there that actually come home. They had a really crappy day at work or whatever. And maybe they try to hang out with one of their buddies. They could be a single person, and maybe if their buddies aren't available. And I mean, if you have true friends, usually it's a small group. When you're a little bit younger, you might have hundreds of friends, and then as you get older, you sort of kind of pick out the ones that are like, okay, they're more acquaintances than friends. Then you have your handful. Well, you know how it is. I'm not going to get into it. I've already been talking for like 5 minutes for no reason. But I'm just wondering, I'm like, I am just one person, and I'm just one random dude. And I have, last I checked, about 147 subscribers, which I appreciate. And I'm just a guy just kicking back, checking new softwares out and making little videos. I'm guessing most of my stuff is probably backdrop stuff. I mean, I did do the special book dupe glitch. Never did it before until recently. Another thing is just duplicating stuff to begin with. In Fallout, I haven't did that until recently. The bug or the exploit with dropping the guns on the ground to up your settlement size, like all that stuff is stuff that I never really bothered with. I always just I went into the game. It was a different world. I get, kind of lost in the game. I was really hoping, and you've heard me brag on this game before, I was really hoping that Starfield would be one of those games where, you can go hop on a ship or whatever, take a drive to a planet that you've never seen, land there, find a couple towns or something, a little village or something like that. And I know they went for realism. There's 1,000 freaking planets, but 998 of them have nothing but cut and paste stuff. And it's not unique to the planet, so it just kind of kills the immersion. Like, you're saying these planets, if they have life, they have unique life. You're saying that the planets might have derelict ships or something from humans or whatnot, that it was there at one time or another. It's not there anymore, and when you actually play the game, they amped it up so much. You get in there, you see like the same destroyed warehouse and planets that are thousands and thousands of light years away from each other. And I'm guessing what's wrong with that game really is that it's not handcrafted. All the games that they've made that actually have done really good are handcrafted. We're talking about Oblivion, and we're talking about Morrowind, and I think the new the Indiana Jones game is going to be all right. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Indiana Jones, but the game looks kind of cool, so maybe I'll check it out. And of course, there's Skyrim. There's a couple of other little games. I mean, they kind of messed up on Redfall. I don't know if that's exactly Bethesda or if it's a side company. I don't know what the hell happened there. Needless to say, I think the best thing that Bethesda needs to do is handcraft maybe, 10, 15 cities or whatever in their games from now on. Make it all completely unique to that specific spot. And to save space, instead of having the same trails that go from city to city all the time, I don't know, maybe they can put some sort of lore or something in there and go back to Daggerfall. When they computer generated like the forests and stuff that you walk through to get from town to town. So basically you can either fast travel from town to town, or you can actually explore these forests. And then of course, while they're in the forest, there'll be set spots where they can cut and paste different dungeon, rocks or something. Cut and paste different like structures that just tell you, okay, this is a bandit camp, or this is a raider camp, or monsters live here, whatever. Use those attributes or whatever to show you, okay, this spot is permanent, but everything around like the permanent spots and that type of thing, I think they really need to stick with the handcrafting, and then let the game itself or whatever you're playing it on generate the forests or the wastes, or I don't know, the waters. If they decide to make some sort of, sea game or something, I'm not sure. That's just me kind of griping about them. I really did appreciate the games for a long time. And, well, we all know how it is. Here we are playing a game 9 years old. And some people are even playing a game that, how old is Skyrim now? 13 years old? And then you have older players of Skyrim, like Shirley Curry, for example. She's been waiting for a game for a long time. And, she's literally, I think she's in her 80s. And I have to say, though, I have a feeling the reason why Bethesda decided to invite Shirley Curry over to whatever place that they do the programming, they made a model of her as a character. They gave her stuff to read. They completely, filled out like a character model for her. She has all these lines and everything. So clearly they're going to put her in some sort of game. Or, maybe they're just appeasing her. I don't know. But I think that they're going to, quote unquote, immortalize her in one of their games, which they did for this kid that was dying when they made Eric the Slayer as one of the models in Skyrim. What I thought was kind of beat is that, Eric the Slayer can actually die in Skyrim. You would think that if you're going to try to immortalize a person who is a big fan of your games or whatever, and you decide to make them have a live model in the game that you are developing, you would make them an invincible person, an essential person. So I got a feeling that what they're going to do is that they recorded her to make her maybe some sort of follower in a future game. And I got a feeling that they know that, what, by the time this game comes out, she ain't going to be around no more because we dragged her feet. And even though this old woman is aching for a new Elder Scrolls game, and she's getting so bored of Skyrim now, and this is like the main game that she's been playing for a long time, no, they decided to make some shitty, stupid-ass space game that was, quarter-baked. Stuff like that bothers me, especially when they're a big company like Bethesda. So, I'm really hoping that they get their ass in gear, try and make a new game. Hell, I'll be around most likely unless, I don't know, I get shot or ran over or something unnatural. I'll be around for a little while. Players like her, they ain't going to. But the fans of her, her fan base that she built up, Bethesda is going to exploit. Well, I guess, I guess it's a little give and take, right? We exploit their game, they exploit their fans. I guess that's what it is. Makes sense to me. I'm just really hoping that she at least gets the chance to see the new game whenever it comes out. We'll see what happens there. They also have another fan that was not doing too good. And he is an NPC in the Nuka World DLC. I forget exactly where his little location is. I think it's like all the way to the west or something. It's away from Nuka World, but it's in that little map. And he looks like a younger fella. And sometimes he has like really cool like items that he is willing to give to you. And he was just saying, I just want like a friend or whatever. So I guess I can appreciate that, that they do that for some of their fans. But at the same time, it's like, if you want to keep your fans, give the fans what they want. Don't do something because you want to do it. Unless you have your own personal company. If you got a big company and you have a lot of fans, I suggest continuing with your fan base. Want to try to expand it, that's fine. But don't forget the fans that you already made, because if you expand it too much, change it too much, well, then you're going to lose all the fans that you already gained, and you're only going to get about, a handful of new fans in place, especially with everything being so, I hate using this word, but like things just being so sterile. I know that's overused, but it's true. And all right, just think about this. All right, companies, anybody who's listening, do a little bit of research. Your average gamer is not a 12-year-old kid anymore. It's not an 8-year-old kid like it was back in the 70s, 80s, probably even 90s. The average gamer is a gamer who started playing games back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and continued playing. The average gamer is actually in their mid-30s. So they're pretty much middle-aged. And guess which people have the money to buy your games? Middle-aged people do. And then you also have like late teens, early 20s. They have a little bit extra time. They have a little bit of extra money. You also have some of the older generation starting to play games. And there's only so many Call of Duty clones and Fortnite clones that you can make. Like Forza clones and Gran Turismo clones if you're on PlayStation. So, and then you also have like things like Diablo already have that taken up. Baldur's Gate has their own thing. The Souls games have their own thing. So really, a lot of gaming companies have these niches, and they already have these niches filled up. So if you want to make a little bit of money, if you want to make your fans happy, stick with what you've always worked for you. Stick what happens, that you make that makes your fans happy. Trying new stuff, yeah, that's fine and everything, but it has to appeal to certain people. Now, okay, back in like 90s, 2000s or whatever, most of the time would be a kid introducing their parent to a video game. I think that's reversed a little bit. There's a video game that a parent likes and it introduces it to the kid. And then the kid gets interested in it, and that's really the only way that you're going to be able to build your fan base. Trying some stuff that's already been, flooded with just copies and copies and copies and clones and clones and clones of the same stuff is just not going to work out. I mean, even the survival games, they were cool for a while, but they're starting to get filled up as well. So, play your cards very responsibly. That's all I'm trying to say. And, I don't know how these big companies are going to last much longer, personally. I think we have to start looking at AA games and indie games because I think that's where the future is. That's just an educated guess. But for any companies, like I said earlier, that are listening to this, just remember that your biggest community of gamers are middle-aged. If they're not middle-aged, or pushing middle age. So just try to keep that in mind. And that's all I got to say about that. I kept this chatting it up for way too long now. So I think what I'm going to do for the rest of this video, I'm going to speed it up. Try to keep this video from being super long. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll get back to you as soon as I can figure out how to speed this up. Because like I said, this is a new software, so we'll see how it goes. So here I basically just finished up the top level. I went to the bottom. I cleaned out the inside of the house a little bit, talked to some of the newcomers. And I built up a little store for one of the newcomers to go and use because our size limit was getting too high. So I'm going to have to buy some guns or whatever, put them on the ground to bring that size limit back down. But anyway, thanks for sticking by and listening to me rant for so long. I always appreciate you guys watching my content. Anyway, leave me a like if you liked it. And I will catch you in the next one. Have a good evening, morning, or afternoon, whatever it is, where you're at. Bye for now.